Welcome to another informative tutorial on PWM-based BLDC motor control series. In our first episode, we walked you through how to adjust BLDC motor speed using PWM frequency. Today in the second episode, we'll take the next critical step, configuring key parameters to achieve precision speed control via PWM duty cycle. Now let's dive into duty cycle control. To build this control system, here's what you'll need from ATO. This system combines three control methods. The BLDC motor's speed is controlled using a PWM signal from an external generator, while the rotation direction and enable function are managed via I/O switching using a rocker switch. All communication and advanced configuration are handled through RS485, using a USB to RS485 converter and a PC running the BLDC control software. Let's go over the wiring step by step. Connect the 24-volt DC power source to the controller's power input terminals. Connect the BLDC motor's UVW 3-phase wires to the controller, and properly connect the Hall sensor pins if applicable. Connect the rocker switch to the controller's X1, X2 for enable and forward reverse direction control, and COM terminals. Power the generator with the DC supply. Connect PWM positive to the PWM input on the controller, and PWM negative to GND for speed control. Connect the RS485 converter to the controller's RS485 terminals, A for positive, B for negative, and plug the USB side into your PC. This enables software control over speed and parameters. Before proceeding, ensure the BLDC controller's RV terminal is off and set dip switches 1 and 2 to off. This preparation work is to lock out manual control and let the controller accept instructions via RS485 and I/O. Link the USB to RS485 converter to the motor controller's designated terminals. Double-check polarity to avoid communication errors. Connect the PWM signal generator to the controller's PWM port and GND, and wire the rocker switch to the controller's X1, X2, and COM for motor enable and direction control. Refer to ATO's video on the I/O and SV control of BLDC motor for detailed explanation as to the control principles of a rocker switch over the BLDC motor. Now power up the circuit and plug the converter into your PC's USB port. Let's configure the BLDC control software on your PC. Launch the software. Go to COM setting and click Connect to establish the connection. Once connected, you'll see COM Connect Success, and parameters will be read into the system. Parameters read to file success confirms the BLDC controller is now online via RS485. If connection fails, follow the prompts to verify the port and controller's address. Now let's configure the parameters for our desired control method. Unlike the PWM frequency control method we demonstrated earlier, we now need to set PN14 to 4. This selects PWM duty cycle as the primary speed command input. Set PN15 to 1 to select I/O switching as command source. Set PN30 to 0 to designate X1 as motor enable control. Set PN31 to 1 to assign forward reverse direction toggle to X2. For parameters PN32 and PN33, you can enable and configure additional features according to the parameter table. For example, set PN32 to 2 to enable brake control functionality. Set PN33 to 3 to configure error clear or reset control. Important note on parameter activation. Parameters PN14 and PN15 require a system reboot to take effect, while PN30 to PN33 are immediately active upon adjustment, and you can set the maximum motor speed in PN02 under PWM control. The adjustable speed range is 300 to 6,000 RPM. For example, enter 3,000 in the new value field and click Write Parameter. The motor will now run up to 3,000 RPM. These settings create a hybrid control system with multiple command options. Let's begin our hands-on demonstration. Flip the rocker switch to 1 to enable the motor. Tap on the knob to initiate PWM pulse output. The motor begins rotating in the clockwise direction at our initial 70% duty cycle setting. Rotate the PWM generator's knob to adjust the duty cycle and thereby control the motor speed. It's essential to note this BLDC controller accepts PWM duty cycles from 0 to 100% at frequencies between 100 Hz and 1000 Hz. When the duty cycle reaches 100%, the motor runs at the maximum speed specified earlier in PN02, which in this case is 3000 RPM. You can monitor real-time PWM input and speed in the Software System Information tab. Switching the rocker switch to 0 stops the motor. Flip the switch to position 2. The motor reverses instantly, and PWM still controls the reverse speed via duty cycle adjustments. This proves full speed and directional control using RS485, PWM duty cycle, and I/O switching.